Once upon a time, in a lush valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there was a beautiful village called Elmsbrook. The village was known for its vibrant community, where the people lived in harmony with nature and with one another. The heart of the village was a large oak tree, which the villagers revered for its age and wisdom. Generations of families had played beneath its branches, seeking its shade in summer and its shelter in winter. One day, a stranger arrived in Elmsbrook. He was a tall man with a sharp look in his eyes and a smile that didn't reach them. He introduced himself as Mr. Thorne and claimed to be an expert in commerce. He spoke to the villagers about the wealth they could gain by cutting down the ancient oak tree and using the wood to build furniture and other items to sell in the neighboring towns. The villagers were torn. On one hand, they had always respected the oak tree and the natural world around them. On the other hand, Mr. Thorne's offer seemed enticing, promising prosperity and success. But the elder of the village, a wise woman named Clara, cautioned the villagers against hastily accepting the offer. "Think carefully," Clara said. "The oak tree is a symbol of our heritage and unity. It provides us with shade, shelter, and beauty. Once it's gone forever. We must weigh the cost of gaining wealth at the expense of our roots." Despite Clara's warning, some villagers were swayed by Mr. Thorne's arguments. They argued that the tree had stood there for centuries, and they should benefit from it while they could. So, the decision was made to cut down the oak tree. As the tree fell, a loud crack echoed through the valley, and a dark cloud seemed to hang over the village. The air felt heavy, and the villagers watched in silence as the once grand oak tree was reduced to a stump. Mr. Thorne smiled, rubbing his hands together as he calculated his potential profits. The villagers set to work, creating furniture and other goods from the oak wood. At first, they seemed to prosper, selling their products in nearby towns and enjoying newfound wealth. However, they noticed a series of changes in the valley. The soil around the oak stump began to erode, causing landslides during the rainy season. The once clear river that flowed through the village became muddy and polluted. Crops that had thrived for generations now struggled to grow. The air seemed less fresh, and the village lost its previous charm. Over time, the villagers realized that the loss of the oak tree had upset the natural balance. The tree's roots had held the soil in place and filtered the water, while its leaves provided shade and helped purify the air. The village's prosperity began to decline, and many regretted their decision. Mr. Thorne, sensing that his scheme had failed, quietly disappeared from the village, leaving the people to deal with the consequences of their actions. With heavy hearts, the villagers gathered around the oak stump and decided to plant a new tree in its place. Though it would take generations to grow as strong and wise as the original, they knew they had to restore the natural balance they had disrupted. The moral of the story is that decisions made for short-term gain can have long-term consequences. Respecting and preserving nature is crucial for the well-being of future generations. Wealth and prosperity are fleeting, but the connection to the natural world and our roots is enduring.